Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss the second chapter of the Vistage, the supplementary reader of English, class 12th. And the chapter's name is The Tiger King. Tiger King was written by Ramaswamy Krishnamurti. Basically, he is known in the world as his pen name Kalki. Kalki means the 10th and ultimate avatar incarnation of Lord Vishnu. So he has taken this pen name to write the short stories, and he is also one of the famous journalists known in mostly in southern part of India. So straight away I am coming to the story because in supplementary reader, especially in your exams, you are not asked to write the name of the writer. Still, briefly, I have just talked about the writer as well for you. I have made certain points for you for the better understanding of this chapter. We will just take these points and I'll try to sum up this chapter within the stipulated time of around 12 to 13-15 minutes. Let us see how long it takes for us to complete this video. First of all, the basic summary of the story goes like this. There's a story in Pratibandhapuram. People talk about it so much, about a very powerful king ever produced in Pratibandhapuram, and his name was the Tiger King. Actually, it was not his real name. His real name was Jilani Jang Jang Bahadur. This is one of the questions that might come in your exams. It has come many times earlier also. So what is the complete name of the Tiger King? So his name is Jilani Jang Jang Bahadur, but he is popularly known as Tiger King. Now, why he is known as the Tiger King? Because he was such a powerful king, very mighty. The first phrase of the story tells us how powerful he was. He was blessed with a great sense, intellect, as well as physical power. Certain examples of it you will find in the next part of it. When he was born, the astrologers predicted, the chief astrologer said that he is going to be one of the most powerful kings ever been there in Pratibandhapuram, but he would have to be aware of the 100th tiger. He might be able to kill 99 tigers in his lifetime. He would be so powerful. But the 100th tiger might pose a great danger to the king's life. As the astrologer said this, now the point comes. As the astrologer comes up with this kind of prediction, some voice came from the cradle, because this prediction was made on the 11th day, which is the Namkaran Sanskar of the king going on. So at that time the child was very small. He was very, very small. You can understand an infant who is just 11 days old. He started speaking coherently from the cradle itself and announced his coming in the world. And he said that if I have to be aware of the 100th tiger, the tigers must beware of me as well. I am going to pose a great danger to the tigers myself. So this was how it happened on the 11th day of his birth. So it must have been clear to you by now how powerful he was, how blessed he was as a future king. So when he became the king after the death of his father, he took an oath. What oath he took was that when he reminded by his ministers or by the general public, because they were also whispering about what might happen to the king later in his later years, he may be killed by the 100th tiger. So when he was reminded by this, when he became older and he was seated at the throne, so he straight away pronounced that nobody would throw even a stone on a tiger in his entire state. And he also announced that right since then he will not attend any official ceremonies, he would not do any official tasks, he would not be available in his office till he kills the 100th tiger. So now this was a very ridiculous decision on the part of the great king, but he took this oath, and this thing must be clear by now to you. The oath he took was that nobody will throw any stones on any tigers. He ridiculously said that people, if they want, they can go for mosquito hunt, they can go for mouse hunt, but nobody will throw any stone, even a stone on tiger. If anybody would be found doing so, his whole property would be confiscated by the state. Okay, so now here comes the first phase of the tiger hunt. Right then he started his tiger hunt, taking all the machinery with him, all great hunters of his kingdom he took along with him. But their task was only to find the tiger. It would be the king who would kill the tiger, not any other person would be allowed to do so. So he started doing his tiger hunt, and soon whole of Pratibandhapuram, in the entire state, the tiger population diminished. Even not a single tiger was left in the entire Pratibandhapuram. Still, the count was very less. He was still to kill around 30 more tigers to complete his tiger hunt. Already he had completed the tally up to 70 or so. 70 tigers, more than 70 tigers he had killed in a short period of time. He was so powerful that many times he had to had a collision with the tiger. Straight away he had to fight a duel with the tiger. But every time it was the king who won, and the tiger was defeated and brutally killed by him. So he was such a powerful man. Now what happened? It was the time of British rule in India. So he was the king of some riyasat or something like that. There were so many riyasats were there. Some free states in India were being enjoyed by the different kings who were allowed to be the kings in their states by the British government, but they have to please the British government at any cost. So one time it happened that a British officer came over there. They were also very much curious to have the tiger hunt. So British officer wanted his permission for killing the tigers, but he was denied the permission. The king straight away said that you are not allowed, because tigers would be killed only by me. Nobody else would be allowed to kill the tigers. The British officer, of course, he was very unhappy with that, and the king was at the verge of almost losing his crown, because the whole British government was after him, and he was just almost going to lose his crown. Just to avoid this situation to come, what ridiculous thing again he did? He asked some councillors what to do. Then one of the councillors said that it would be better to please the officer's mistress. So they sent some 50 golden rings, and they thought that she would find the best diamond ring for her, but she took the whole of the 50 diamond rings for herself. It cost around 3 lakh rupees of that time. So in this way, he could be able to save his kingdom. So this was done by the king. Okay, and then comes the king's marriage. Now what happened that when in entire state of Pratibandhapuram the tiger population had extinct, so he decided to marry a girl. Why he wanted to marry a girl? There was a purpose behind it, because he wanted. He had heard that in one particular neighboring state there was a good number of tigers, enjoying their lives over there. So he thought a better opportunity in that, and he married a woman of that state. And when he became the son-in-law of that state, now he started his tiger hunting in that particular state as well. And in this way, in a very less amount of time, he killed as many as 99 tigers. But the last tiger was not found. He did his level best to find the 100th tiger. Sorry. But he was not able to do so. Out of his frustration, when he was badly frustrated, because he did his level best to find it, but he did not find it. So he asked all his ministers, and he had started taking double taxes. He has imposed more taxes on the public out because of the frustration he had. It should not have been done by him, but he did it because he was frustrated that he was not getting the tiger. So everybody was trying to find the tiger for the king now, so that the king would be able to kill it. They were trying to find a tiger. Finally, a tiger was found. A news came from some village in his state only that in that particular region the domestic animals are getting vanished day by day. So it must have been the work of a tiger. So he was pleased. He was so pleased that he relaxed all the taxes from that particular village. So now the only task was to be done by the king was to kill the last tiger. Now the last scene is very important. The tiger was very, very weak. He could hardly walk. He could not walk properly. He saw its prey. A goat was placed at a particular place so that the tiger would see it and it would try to kill it. And the king, who was sitting along with his minister on the tree, he was aiming at the tiger, and as soon as the poor tiger would go there to find its prey, they would kill it. No sooner did the tiger try to do that, try to go near the limping. He could not. The writer had used the word limping. He could not even walk properly. The tiger was so old. So the tiger was then shot by the king before it could kill the goat. So in this way, the tiger, as the king thought, that was killed. And in a great procession, the king asked all his ministers that a great procession must take place, and amid all sorts of praise of the king, this procession must go along the whole town. But the actual fact was that the tiger had not been killed by the bullet which the king shot. It was because the tiger was so old, so weak, that as soon as the king shot the bullet, it passed by very nearly, it hit the tiger. But the tiger was unconscious because of its sound, the sound of the bullet. Mind you, the tiger was so weak that only due to the sound of the bullet, the tiger was unconscious. And later on, just to save themselves from the king, the ministers killed the 100th tiger. So in this way, the tiger was killed by the ministers, not by the king. So, and the king thought that he had killed the tiger. So ultimately, he was happy that he had killed all the 100 tigers in his life. So ultimately, it was the last scene comes when it was the birthday celebration of his child. The king was playing with his child. He had got a wooden tiger as a gift. He wanted to give it to his son. They were playing with that wooden tiger, but it was done up by some unskilled carpenter. So one of the wooden spark hit the king's hand. So it was pricked into his hand. Soon it turned out to be a major infection, first in his hand, then it spread in his entire body, and finally the king died due to the infection. So in this way, the writer says that the tiger, though it was wooden tiger, but it was the 100th tiger, because the prediction was going to be true. The Tiger King met his end. So this was the basic story. Now you have to just think about those questions that would come, that might come in your exams. If you just look at this whole video again, just try to remember the whole story through these points only. If you just make these points ready in your mind, you can just elaborate the whole story easily, and if any question comes out of it, you would be able to answer those questions. I think this presentation will give you some kind of helping hand. I'll come up with some major questions that might come in here from this particular chapter in my next presentation. Thank you very much.